Hi, I'm your nostalgia chick. And though I was wished into existence by the man who made this website in the interest of creating equal opportunity for bad movies aimed at the boys and girls of the 1980s, I fear I've in the process regressed to all my worst adolescent not like other girls impulses and unknowingly given an audience of mouth-breathing adolescent males access to the fairer sex's nostalgia, viewed exclusively through the lone prism of the sarcastic, mass-produced, ultra-consumable, shrill-shrieking, angry review, and taught them the ropes of how to ridicule our keystone juvenilia, our Saturday mornings, after-school specials, celeb crushes, and burgeoning sexualities. They'll claim me as their ambassador as they do so, all while conveniently glancing down at the cut of my shirt for any duration I spend talking about how important strong female role models are, or how scary getting your first period can be, or how second-wave feminist icon Gloria Steinem was a CIA plant sublimating anti-communist counterintelligence into the women's movements of the 1970s. Still, the blame lies only with me. When the pussy power police burst through my front door, there will be a grown woman in pigtails with two arms fully extended out in front of her, waiting patiently on the other side. Yes, officer, I understand. No, officer, you don't need to read me my rights. I signed those away alongside my dignity when I hit upload on my first review. And so, in response to my irresponsibility, call it putting my own spin on equal opportunity, reverse sexism, or simply lashing out because I'm mad as hell, damn it, I've decided to take aim and fire at the dorm walls of every college-age dweeb with that guy with the glasses bookmarked on Internet Explorer using the box from a Tombstone frozen pizza as a substitute for a real plate. Or more specifically, the posters on those walls. Well, they're walls too. Well, no, not their walls, the wall. I'm talking about The Wall. This is a review of Pink Floyd's The Wall. If you're somehow unfamiliar, you may be asking, what's this about? Some guy called Pink Floyd and a wall? Yes, but only insofar as House of Leaves is a book about a house that's bigger on the inside. And just like House of Leaves, I wish that was all it was about, and all the metatextual man pain and mommy issues were tossed into the nearest lake with their arms and legs zip tied behind their backs. Because kids, this is allegory. The kind of allegory you can only find digging so far up your own ass it'll have even Steven Spielberg mouthing the words, "What the fuck was that?" when credits roll. Real story, by the way, look it up. Classic rock's brooding, Siberian tiger-faced Roger Waters was riding the high off half-successfully convincing his bandmates to write a rock opera based on George Orwell's Animal Farm, when he decided to make the final leap over the Shark Tank and convinced his bandmates to write a rock opera based on himself. It sounds like a parody of every narcissistic creator high on their own supply, virtually indistinguishable from Tommy Wiseau even, that once the decision was made to adapt the album for the screen, Roger insisted he play the role of protagonist Pink Floyd himself. Yes, that's really the character's name. But he was too much of a charisma vacuum, and so he got replaced by another politically didactic musician with such a disfigured Wikipedia controversy section, it makes Roger Waters look like Mr. Rogers. "You're tearing me apart!" scream tests. It turns out, being a rock star ain't all it's cracked up to be. All the money in the world, fame, fortune, and some people still go to rock concerts to cut loose and have fun in a way you deem is at the expense of your art and integrity. This makes me so mad I want to take my TV and throw it out the nearest window in order to break free from my vices, just like Tommy Wiseau. Could it be that you might be taking yourself a little too seriously? No. Blame it on your mommy, or your teacher, or your ex-wife, or any other woman who's wronged you, because if you juxtapose her against Margaret Thatcher, shit, who wants to look like an apologist to that piece of work? Plus, the more women you fixate on, the more breasts we can put on the screen. There are so many bare breasts in this movie, I'm surprised they never aired it on Skinamax. There are other attempts at reflecting something external, although one is conflicted by an important name that's been missing from this story until now.
I really love you, and I mean you.
Syd Barrett was one of Pink Floyd's founding members, a whimsical and idiosyncratic young chap who, early into the band's career, had his brain turned to artichoke dip by heavy LSD use. He exited the band in shambles to live a quiet life in exile, a departure that hung heavy over the band and their mythos, despite his involvement in only 2 of their albums. A classic rock fable goes that during the recording of Wish You Were Here, a mysterious hairless man showed up at their studio, revealing himself to be none other than Syd himself. This would be one of the only times any of the band would see him between his departure and his death in 2006. And here is the character Pink Floyd shaving his head and eyebrows immediately before committing a sex crime and becoming the leader of a Nazi party. Yay! Do not Google search 1 Hitler 2 hammers. Worst mistake ever. What was he getting at with this? No, I'm really asking, why? This is creepy. Why have I seen this referred to as homage or tribute? Look, whatever. Okay, let's step out in search of less loaded territory. Well, there's not a lot, but much of it is so painfully obvious in its theming, it feels too insulting to sit here and explain it even to you. Here's one example though. I just don't friggin' get why the film spends so much time on all this imagery of kids getting fed into paper shredders and mangled into faceless automatons in giant German expressionist factories. As if Soviet montage theory can't be applied until an entire 4.5-minute song plays first. Flashing a couple photos of mushy peas, beans on toast, spotted dick, or jellied eel would be twice as harrowing in a fraction of the time. Ew! Which leads me to the biggest compounding factor in The Wall's abject failure. It's just so damn repetitive. And before you hit me with the "that's the point" button, I call bullshit. Yes, industrial factories produce the same thing over and over and over. Yes, every day runs together when you're depressed and fucked up on drugs or fucked up on television. Yes, every brick that makes up a wall is roughly the same shape and size as all of the other bricks. But when you literally repeat footage with the frequency this does, you're drawing attention to the fact that you didn't have enough ideas or time or money to fill out the runtime, and more damning, you're drawing attention to how one-dimensional the imagery is, and how painfully, bluntly, literally it applies to the lyrical content of the music. It's called The Wall, so there's The Wall. I gotta talk about the music now. I wonder if anyone will come and assist me. What? Oh, god damn it, not you! Hi, Todd. Why am I here? I love The Wall. I have a wad of Lupa's hair I pulled out of the Cacassia Hotel shower drain in an envelope with your full legal name and address on it. Steely Dan's Donald Fagen once told Talking Heads' David Burns, all your songs have maybe 1 or 2 chords. You can maybe stand to learn a couple more. The Wall is like if Roger Waters happened to be in the room, assumed he was being spoken to, and went, "Nah, you can't tell me what to do." Pink Floyd were an incredibly accomplished group of musicians with more masterpieces under each of their belts than you can count. They're virtuosos. So why is so much of The Wall a stale disco beat with a single chord thumping away over and over and over? Okay, fine, the repetition is supposed to be symbolic, whatever. But you can convey that with more than a single idea. It's like... I actually made the point you're getting to already. He's so dreamy. Closed-face compliment flatbread. There's really no denying the quality of the animated sequences, even when they start to look a little bit like a big alligator moment. The trial is easily the film's highlight, and is likely what you think of when you think you're thinking fondly on this film. But Roger can't keep from injecting even the beautiful animations with juvenile visual metaphor. Hey guys, do you know what those are? That one's a penis, and that one's a vagina. It's like if Fantasia was made by... that guy. If I didn't have a contractual obligation to a production schedule, I would have stopped watching at the heterosexual flower rape, if for no other reason than to scrap up what remained of my eyeballs off the floor after they rolled right out of their sockets. Instead, I merely echolocated the rest of this film's insipid attempts at wringing depth and spectacle from whatever shapes the piss froth Roger left behind in his trailer toilet bowl that morning. Thankfully, I've hit my contractually obligated word count, so this review's over now. Girls rule, boys rule, direct all your threats to Lupa.